Hello? Oops. Oh no, I forgot you guys could hear that. Okay, I just burped. Hi everyone. So this is not the best look for me because I have no makeup on and look very tired and old. But I just wanted to try to do a yoga class for my mom. And we couldn't really figure out any other way to do it aside from streaming it live to YouTube. So here we are. We're going to try to do a simple yoga class. I'm not sure if she'll be able to do all these moves. So I'm going to try to do some modifications, but again, I won't really know what is accessible for you, Mom. So I'm just going to try this and hopefully you can do some of the stuff. Okay, so your mat is set up. And you can come to the top of your mat and you're just gonna stand with your feet like hips width apart. For the other random person who's watching right now, it's cold in DC, so I have on like a few pairs of pants and a vest and a jacket and a long sleeve shirt. So I'm not the kind of person that likes a heater even in the winter. So come to the top of your mat. Actually, try to get your feet, touch your feet together. And then we're just gonna start by rolling our wrists. I don't know how long this class is gonna be either because I can't see my watch. And just keep rolling your wrists up, up, up in the air. My mom has sore hips, but I have a sore shoulder, so I might do some shoulder stuff. You can't see my hands, but stay where you are at the top of your mat. I just keep rolling your wrists in the air. Apologies, everyone, because my house is messy. I haven't been able to unpack yet. And now continue to roll in the opposite way, all the way down. Those people who are on the computer all day, your wrists are probably hurting. Your forearms might be hurting too. I've been on the computer for like 12 hours a day for the past few weeks, so it's really, really intense for me. Now shake out your arms, your hands, and now shake out your whole arms so they're floppy around. And then we're gonna do some shoulder rolls. So everyone likes to go with their shoulder rolls going back first, but I like to go front first because I like to end with my chest opening. And this, for some reason, just seems like I'm making my chest get closed. This is for some reason making me colder. So now we're gonna roll the shoulders back. Really see like when you roll the shoulders forward, squeeze your shoulders together like they're like this in the front. And then as you go back, expand and squeeze the back of your shoulders together. So squeeze the front of your shoulders together. Get your shoulders all the way up by the ears and then let your shoulders fall down your back. And do that a few more times just so we can open up the chest and collarbones and shoulders. And then we're gonna go one at a time in this cool little dance move. And I think that's pretty good for the shoulder and arm area. But now spread your legs a little bit so your feet are a little wider than shoulder width apart. And we're just gonna gently roll our head forward, really feeling the tiny movements of the muscles. And you can roll all the way back if that feels good for you. And just feel, there might be a little bit of crunching, but that's okay. Feel the opening in between your collarbone and your neck. And you can also feel the opening around your spine at the top. And just do this a few more times slowly. And don't forget to breathe. And we'll go back a few times, really slow. All right, now when you feel like you've had enough of the shoulder rolls, let's bring our head back up to center. Reach our right hand. It might be the opposite hand for you, what you're seeing on your screen. So just choose to follow my body or my voice. Sorry, we never really got to learn this since yoga teacher training since COVID happened. So I'm gonna lift my right arm up in the air, stretch really high, and then grab your right hand with your left wrist or whatever hand you started with, and pull that right hand over towards the right, push your hips out too, towards the right so that you get a nice stretch all along the right side of your body. Sorry, you're pulling your right hand towards the left. It feels good. Now come back up to center, switch wrists, grab the left wrist with your right hand, push your left hips out, and pull the left hand towards the right so you can feel some opening in the ribs. Now we're gonna let our body fall towards the ground and make a big circle and come back up. Switch wrists and make your upper body go towards the ground. Come in a big circle and come back up. And you can start to feel some, now let go of your wrists. Wrap your hands in a like prayer position with your hands, your fingers intertwined, and lift your arms up in the air over your head. And let's do a few more of those circles. So when you do this, go the opposite way once you get to the top. You can probably start to feel your hips opening a little. You can feel some stretching along your lower back and just some movement in the spine. It's kind of energizing and it feels good. Let's do that one more side each way. It was stressful setting up this Zoom call today, but I'm glad we did because I probably wouldn't have done yoga if we wouldn't have. I've been sitting at my computer so long. I'm glad we are making this a priority. My bun looks really crazy right now. Lift the hand back up in the air, the hands, and place the palms behind your head. And then push your head into your palms, but tuck your chin so you're like forming a double chin. And just do a few of these, pushing your head into your palms to strengthen your neck. You might also feel when you do this, some stretching in your armpits. So you'll feel the back of the neck getting stronger and some stretching in your armpits. At least I do. From here, we're going to tilt the pelvis in and then push the head against the hands, squeeze the elbows together and pull your spine towards the back of the wall. So you're making like a C with your spine. And then we'll open, arch your back, put your tailbone up to the air like you're a dog. I don't know. Just try to, I'm having a hard time because I'm tired. But try to pretend like you want to touch your butt to your head backwards and puff up your chest to get a nice opening across the chest. And do a few of those. As you curl into a ball, breathe out. As you open up your chest, breathe in. So breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. One more time, in and out. Now, we're going to lift our hands in the air again. Place your whatever hand you want. Right hand. Have your fingertips graze the bottom of your ear, and then take your left hand and then just extend your arm out to the side a little bit, twisting your palm externally, rotating your palm so it's facing out, and feel a nice stretch along the side of your neck. And breathe into it. Now place your right hand back down, lift your left arm in the air, place your left fingertips on your bottom of your ear and let the weight of your hand and arm stretch your head down and feel a stretch along your neck. Externally rotate your hand so it's facing outward and you can feel a nice stretch from your ear down the front of your shoulder even. I can kind of feel it in my inner elbow. All right, I feel like we did some nice, good stretching for the upper body. So again, I'm not sure where you are, so I'm gonna just try to make this a nice, easy class. So raise your arms up in the air and then fold your upper body down towards the ground. You don't have to touch the ground. You can bend your knees a lot if you want to touch the ground, and just let your head heavy and feel a nice stretch along your spine and in the back of your legs. And we'll breathe here for 2 breaths. You can also, if you're bending your legs, You can wrap your arms around each other for ragdoll. Actually, yeah, grab your elbows with opposite hands and just try to let your upper body be heavy. And you can just sway a little bit here. Now let your hands fall. Bring your hands to either your shins or your upper thighs, but not your knees. And extend your neck long and your back flat. So this is called halfway lift. So halfway lift, try to get your head in line with your tailbone, so a really flat spine. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then let it go. I'm only turning so you can see what I'm doing. Now we'll come up again, sweeping our arms up overhead, rising one vertebrae at a time, touching your hands, and bringing them down to heart center. So from here, we're going to have an intention for class. My intention is going to be patience because I have not had much patience lately. Just with Habitat on the Hill less than 2 weeks away, and everyone, I mean, not everyone's annoying me, but sometimes I get easily annoyed by situations that are probably not a big deal. So we're going to take, and whatever your intention might be, just set it now. We're going to focus on, I'm going to focus on patience during class, and you can focus on whatever you'd like. So breathe in, let's breathe in together 3 times to seal the intention. Ready? Breathe in. Exhale, let something go. That annoyed you this week. Inhale. Let it go. I'm going to let go of the person who told me I was condescending. You know exactly who it is because I sent the message to a lot of my friends because that's the kind of professional woman I am. All right, now we're going to breathe in one more time and we're going to sweep our arms up overhead and then we're going to start transitioning down to the mat. So breathe in and exhale down. Open your feet wider than your hips if they aren't already there. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands on the ground. You can bend your knees here if you need to, and step one foot back and then the other foot back. And now you're in a plank pose. If you don't feel comfortable in this plank pose, go ahead, drop your knees to the ground. Okay? And from here, we're going to bring our lower body down to the mat, all the way down to the mat. So you're laying on the mat. Now with your hands placed beside, right kind of beneath your shoulders, roll your shoulder blades up and just feel a nice little back bend. Try not to crank your neck, but this is called Cobra pose. So try to squeeze your elbows towards your ribs and lift your head, but keep your feet on the ground. Press firmly into the ground with your feet, tops of your feet. Now come back down and push up into a 4-legged position, tabletop position. Next time I'll figure out a better place to put my camera. So from here, if you have sensitive knees, you can grab your blanket. If you don't have a blanket, you can grab a pillow. If you don't have either, you don't need it. You can put your knees on top of the blanket if that feels better. And then we're gonna do that same action we did before. Tuck your tailbone, let your belly fall, roll your shoulders back and lift your neck. So you're in this is called cow pose. So like your udders are hanging your tummy down. Lift your neck, and then this position will inhale. Then exhale, tuck your tailbone, push your spine up towards the sky, let your head hang heavy. This is called cat pose, like a black cat on Halloween. From here, really see if you're really relaxing your head down or if you actually have tension in your neck. See if you can relax your head a little more even. Do a few of those on your own. When you're in this position, cow pose, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Gaze up. Then cow, tuck your tailbone, expand your shoulder blades apart, pull them apart, and let your head hang. Cow pose. So I'm going to do a few of those on my own. Inhaling for cow. Exhaling for cat. Inhale. exhale. So now from here, we're here in tabletop. We're gonna stick one foot back and then the other, and then you're now gonna go into down dog. So for down dog, you put your hips into the air. Try to straighten out your knees as much as possible. It might seem like you want to have all the weight in your arms, but see if you can evenly distribute the weight between the four pieces touching the ground. So you can bend your knees a lot here if you want, but try to get your ribs to go towards your legs and keep your arms straight. This is down dog. From here, bring your knees to the mat. And I'm not sure if you can sit back on your heels. If you can't, this would be a good opportunity. You don't have any blocks, but I just mailed you some on Amazon. To put a block between your butt and the ground and sit back on the block. So now I'll give you a second to text me and tell me if you can sit on your heels. So go ahead and message me that, if you can sit on your heels like this. If you don't message me, I'm gonna assume that you can sit on your heels. Okay. So I'm gonna assume you can sit on your heels. So from this position, we're going to, you can, okay, great. So that seems like your knees are feeling good and your hips are feeling good. From here, raise your hands in the air. I'm gonna try to do this mirror thing. Take your left hand, sweep it underneath your right. I can sit on my heels. Okay, I got that, thank you. So go ahead, sweep your left hand under your right, and then one elbow is on top of the elbow pit, and then twist your hands so that your left hand is in your right hand's palm. This is called eagle pose. If you can do this, lift your elbows and pull your hands towards the TV and try to keep your elbows in line with your shoulders. It feels like a nice stretch along the back of your shoulders. If you can't do that, just give yourself a big hug and you can still feel that stretch with the left hand under the right. Breathe here. Now lift your hands in the air and bring your right hand under your left arm, elbow to elbow pit. And again, lock the fingers in the palm for eagle pose. You'll have to tell me afterwards if you could do this. So pull your hands out towards the TV, try to keep your shoulders down, and then lift your elbows so that it's in line with your shoulders. Again, if you can't do that, just give yourself a nice hug here. Perfect. From here, we're going to tiptoe our hands out to the front of the mat, and then keep your butt on your heels, but this time spread your legs out so that your knees are facing the upper four corners of the mat. Stretch your hands out and lay your forehead on the mat if this feels comfortable for you, aiming to keep your tailbone towards your mat, but if you can't get it all the way down, that's fine. And let your chest fall between your knees. And this is called child's pose. This is a rest pose. You can do this whenever you like during class. From here, you should feel a good stretch in your armpits, all around under your arms. You could feel a stretch in your hips, which I know are hurting you. And you can feel a stretch all along your spine. And it's just a nice pose. Now you can roll your forehead from side to side and feel a really nice massage on your forehead. And from here, we'll take one more breath in child's pose, and we'll come up to a tabletop position. So again, that just tops of feet, knees, and hands are on the ground. From here, tuck your toes and push back into down dog. And now lift your right leg in the air and step it through your hands. You might need to guide it a little. Place your back knee on the ground. It's my left knee that's on the ground. Flip your foot so that the top of the foot is on the ground and lift up into this low lunge. So your back leg's on the ground and your front knee is in a 90-degree angle. So you're in a low lunge. It should be a really good stretch for your hip flexor. We're just going to stay here for 2 breaths. If you would rather just stay here, you can. So 2 breaths here. You could also bring your hands to heart center. Breathe here. 1, 2. From here, place your hands back on either side of your feet. Flip your toes so they're on the ground. And then lift your leg back into the air and come into the down dog. Here, wiggle out your tail a little bit. You can bend your knees, do whatever you need. We'll lift the other leg in the air. Step it through between your palms. Lower the back knee down. And then come up for whatever variation of this hip flexor stretch you want to take. Breathe here. Perfect. Now place both hands back down on the mat. Flip your toes. Kick back into down dog. And from here, lift your right leg into the air. Step it through between your palms, keeping your back foot, toes on the ground. We're going to rise up to standing with your front leg bent. Swivel your back foot down so it's at a 45-degree angle and your back leg is straight. Your front leg is bent in a 90-degree angle. Look down at your feet and see if your heel lines up with the inner arch of your back foot. So the front heel lines up with the inner arch of your back foot. Twist your torso so it's facing forward. Your belly button is facing the same direction of your knees, and lift your arms up into the air. This is called Warrior One. Breathe here. Now, turn your tummy to face the wall and extend your arms out like a T, keeping your right leg bent, gazing, oh, mine's the right leg, your front leg bent, gazing over your middle finger on the same side that your front knee is. This is called Warrior Two. I think that's good for today for the warriors. So we're going to cartwheel our arms towards the front to pivot to be on either side of your front foot. Pivot your toes so all your toes are facing in the same direction. And then push back into down dog. And we'll take 2 breaths here to breathe. If it's getting intense, you can take a few breaths in child's pose at any time. And now I'll do the other side. Lift the left leg, step it through between your palms, pivot your back foot down so your toes are facing the upper right-hand corner for me, and come up into Warrior One. I can feel this in my hip flexor a lot in the back leg, because I've been sitting so much. So tummy's facing forward, same direction as your front knee. Arms are lifted overhead. My contact's messing up. Now open up towards the side wall, side of your mat. Keep your arms in a T. Keep your front leg bent. And you can gaze over your front middle finger, Warrior Two. See if you can, if there were 2 planes of glass that you would fit in between them, your arms aren't twisting out or any other weird way. And from here, we're going to cartwheel the arms to frame the front foot, step the front foot back, and go into down dog. Now, from here, we're just going to sit on our knees, or we're going to go ahead and pivot around so our legs are out in front of us. Sorry, my contact's messing up. From here, take your right leg and bend it so that your thighs are still facing in the same direction, but you're just you're bringing your foot towards your butt. And then lean back a little. If you can go down to your elbows and just get a nice stretch along your hip flexor. If you can't go down to your elbows, just start to get to move your upper body backwards to where it feels good and you can feel a stretch in your hip flexor. Breathe here for 3 breaths. If you're in this pose and you're back on your forearms, you can also let your head go and you can get a stretch along your neck. From here, come up, bend your left leg, take your right foot and put it over your left knee, but still on your thigh, so that you're in this like figure 4 stretch. You should be able to stretch along the back side of your hip right here. And now you can roll your heel a little, your ankle in one direction, and then roll it in the other direction. And just get a nice stretch along that hip. We'll find out what parts of this class you liked and what parts you didn't, and that will be easier for me to make the class the way you like it. So now take your bottom foot and just kind of sway it a little, and you can feel your hip opening a little bit. Now, tiptoe your left foot towards the right side of your mat and let your shin fall to the ground. Now this might be kind of crazy, but your shin is on the ground of the left foot and your right foot's on the floor over here outside of your left knee. So it kind of looks like you're almost Indian style, but your right leg's in the air a little. From here, lift your left arm into the sky, bring your right arm behind you, and make it so that your tricep touches your thigh on the outside of your knee and twist. Look over your right shoulder. Behind you. And just breathe into the twist, feeling the opening in your spine. Now come back to center, unweave your legs, and tap your feet on the ground like this. And just bring some energy in your legs. Straighten both of your legs out and tap your toes like you're Dorothy, Wizard of Oz. You might think that the legs feel different because you only stretch one side. So now, take that left foot, bring it towards your butt, and start to stretch that hip flexor again. You keep your right leg out. You can bend your knee if you need to, or keep it straight. And just breathe into this. If you went down to your forearms on the other side, just go down here again, but remember that both sides of your body aren't always balanced. I'm gonna let my head fall back because my neck hurts. From here, come back up to your palms. If you're not there already, bend your straight leg so that your foot's on the ground, and then take the other foot, put it over the knee so it's on the thigh, and now you can feel the good stretch all along the back side of this hip. You can move your upper body closer to your feet if you want to intensify the stretch. Just do whatever feels right in your body and explore it a little. Now roll out that ankle. There might be some cracks. And then roll out the other ankle. I realize that maybe some of the standing poses might have hurt your foot, so we'll have to talk about that. And now use your bottom leg to move the top leg back and forth. And now we're going to bring that foot across the mat so that the front shin is on the ground. Pivot your body so that your other foot is flat on the floor on the other side of your knee. Lift your right arm into the air and then bring your right elbow to the outside of your right knee so that we can do a stretch. Tiptoe your left hand behind you and then gaze over your left shoulder or whatever shoulder's in the back. From here, come to face the front, unweave your legs, tap them on the ground, lift your knees and tap them. Tap your toes. Come into a position where you're sitting on your tailbones and you have your knees here. You can either hold your shins like this, or you can wrap your arms around it, and then bring your head towards your knees no matter where you are, and we're gonna roll back and forth on our spine a little bit. This feels good. Get situated so that when you roll back on your spine, the next time you can stay there. So now you're staying on your spine. From here, straighten one leg, straighten your left leg or your right, straighten your left leg. Bring your right leg into the sky. Grasp behind your thigh. You can bend your knee as much as you need to. Try to keep your shoulders towards the ground. Don't have them come up towards your ears or fly in the air, and just get a nice stretch along your hamstring. Again, you can roll out your foot one way and roll it the other. Now, bring your hips towards, slightly towards whatever side of the mat the leg in the air is. So my left leg's on the ground. I'm just gonna swivel my hips a little tiny bit to the right, just like 1 or 2 inches. Bend the knee that's in the air and bring that knee across your body towards the ground. So it's a nice twist. I'm putting my right knee towards the ground, extending my right arm out, and it's a nice final twist. You can look over your right hand for an even deeper twist, or you can just keep gazing towards the ceiling. Now unwind, just bring your right knee or whatever knee was across your body down towards the mat. So you're making like a figure 4 with your legs on the ground. Now extend that leg out, move your hips side to side a little bit so that you can loosen up a bit. Lift your other leg into the air, grasp behind your knees, or, not behind your knee, behind your thigh, but feel free to bend your knee if you need to. Keep the shoulders down as you try to pull that leg a little closer to the face. You can roll out your foot one way and roll it out the other way. Now bend your leg and bring your knee to the outside of the leg that's on the ground, towards the ground. You can move your hip a little bit so that you can get your hips in line and it's not really uncomfortable. And extend your left leg out towards the side. Gaze over your left hand if you want to intensify the stretch, or just keep your head facing the ceiling. Remember, don't do anything that hurts. Now bring your knee all the way across your leg on the ground so that it's open into a figure 4 stretch, and you can feel or a 4 stretch, you can feel a stretch along the inner thigh. From here, extend your leg out. Make any movement that you want to. Now you're laying flat on the ground. Allow your feet to sway out to the outside corners of your mat. Keep your palms face up. Keep your eyes closed or at a light gaze. And this is called Shavasana, corpse pose. This is how we end class. So we'll just breathe here for a few seconds. Usually this can last up to 5 minutes so that you can really relax. So we'll just sit here for a little while, just feeling our body and seeing if it feels any different than how it did when we started class. So just take some nice breaths. Feel a rising of your chest and your belly, and notice if they rise and fall at the same time, or if one rises higher than the other, or if you can't feel any movement in any part. If you can't feel any movement in any part, the chances are you're dead. So let's hope that you can. If you feel any stiff parts in your body or any parts that bring you pain, try to focus on those as you breathe and send your breath to that place. Inhale to find the location. And as you exhale, try to really think about that area relaxing, and you just breathe out the pain and the tension. So do that a few times on your own. From here, slowly start to wiggle out the toes and the fingers. Start to roll the wrists a little. And reach your arms overhead. Do a good, big good morning stretch. And then roll over to your right side with your head resting on your elbow, on your bicep, and keep your eyes closed. And just think about this practice and think about anything that you came into the practice with that you want to leave on the mat. And now use your left hand, or whatever hand is you're not resting your head on, to help push yourself up to a seated position, trying to keep your eyes closed if you can, and come to facing the computer or TV with your legs in crisscross applesauce style. And just breathe here. 3 breaths together. We'll bring our hands to palms to heart center and breathe in 1 time. Exhale. Let it go. Inhale. One more time. And exhale it out. This concludes our class for today. I know that it started out kind of chaotic, but I hope you got something out of it. In yoga, to end our class, we always say something along the lines of, the divine light within me respects and sends gratitude and health to the divine light within you. And we just say namaste to seal the class. And that is your first yoga class, Mom. I hope that you liked it. Next time, I'll put more effort into thinking of a sequence that will work for you. All right. Not sure if anyone else watched this, but I kind of hope you didn't.